All right, well, come on in. Here we are. I just want to welcome you on a Monday evening. Where are we? Okay, it looks like we are rolling. Welcome, welcome. All right, welcome everyone. This is a live on Nancy Guthrie. Trigger warning, talking about true crime. Pass along if this is not your appetite at this time of day. My name is Sax Francisco. I've been having little mini visions and visits with Nancy Guthrie since March 26. So please come on in and join me for tea. I don't know if you see like me, but I do want to share what I see on missing person Nancy Guthrie. Today's tea asks the question, what could motive be? And does it truly involve family? Before we begin, can you and I agree? I respect you and you respect me, even if we don't eye to eye see. If you've tuned into this case, I'm sure you'll agree. The details are dark. I hope my clues hit the mark. The motive and the mission are finally coming clear. We have to look at other family members, my dear. Thank you for joining. Hang on. Okay. Now, if you've been following from the beginning, I know, you think it's Tommaso. But please, can we just let that go? And I know, you think it's Annie. But could she really bring her mom this tragedy? To the other side of the family we go. I wish to discuss family member Michael. Michael is not involved. In fact, knows nothing at all. But this clairvoyant says, look around him to see this case solved. Now, in this tea today, I speak of the perp I previously have referred to as perp number 3. So follow me. If you haven't seen those videos, they're on my YouTube channel and they're on TikTok, but follow along. This is how I feel. Perp number 3 came up with this deal. Was it personal or business? I am not quite sure. But this Caucasian man was slighted, I can assure. His status is slipping out of his grasp. He came up with the plan to stay on his side of the grass. He needs it to stay greener, so his pasture is secured. And he never got his hands dirty. It was the others on the crew that secured Nancy. Yet he was the one who thought 5 or 6 days to hold her. And he is the one who wants Bitcoin folders. He knows the value of stashing cash. He made the plan to get the cash. Then came along this disastrous Hispanic, a woman. And she convinced him, yeah, let's get on this. I can find the crew, so you have less to do. Let me talk them into it. I can be a part of it. We can hit it. You can coordinate it. This seems easy. What could possibly go wrong? Well, what if your little bird doesn't want to play along? Okay, so if you guys have heard me talk about perp number 1, let's go through this from the top for a little bit. Perp number 1 is camera individual at the front door. The person that's blocking the camera and still getting into that house. I've always said that perp number 1 does gain access, okay? Perp number 2, when they have appeared to me, they are inside the house. I'm going to talk about these 2 more in the next section called the mission. Perp number 3 has appeared to me when Nancy has been showing me images of things she's been seeing in her home as this is unfolding. Okay, so I am referring to perp number 3. Perp number 3 is the person who Nancy tells me is somehow on communications during the home intrusion. He's not in the room. He doesn't get his hands dirty. And I have said that in other recordings. He's never around the home. He's never around the body. His hands aren't dirty with touching the body or being at the house. So why I want to reiterate that with perp number 3, I do believe that Nancy wants the investigation to be looking at people named Michael. I'm not here to accuse. I'm not trying to make anyone get targeted, okay? But she did give me the name Michael, and she gave me the impression that whoever Michael is, they are not involved, but they could have 1 to 6 degrees of separation from the one person who started to think of this. And I have to assure you that I know people want to blame family. This is not family. However, okay, this is not family who orchestrated this or ordered it, okay? So really, it is not either of the children, nor is it their partners, okay? So I really got to keep saying that. It's really not family. But this is what I truly feel the motive is. The Caucasian man that I'm seeing that may involve also being connected to communications and technology and servicing corporations, I do see that he's part of that. Okay, so it does turn out that Michael Feldman owns communications companies, and that is his expertise. So we actually did a reading just this past week, and I was asking these questions. We were asking what the real motive is, and importantly also a question is the family truly involved? So I am personally making it very firm that my belief is that no family is involved. We see one Caucasian perpetrator that's viewing the family. This is the way it's showing to me with what Nancy has shown me. This perpetrator just sees the family. Okay, so this wasn't even targeted specifically to let's go get Nancy. This is being targeted to the family. And I really have to say, the name Michael came out in the first week of April. And when we just did the tea reading, asking these very questions on Thursday night just past, I think it was the 16th of April, visually, the helpers that were with me that night for the reading, I do know the spirit that was helping me. It was not Nancy that night necessarily, but I definitely had eyes on the wall as a spy on the wall with some assistance from another helper that's always been around, another cold case that I've been working on. Let's just put it that way. And what this individual did in spirit was he kind of sat on me, and it's almost like I was seeing what he was able to see from the heavens and can share with me. And be aware of that. That is ways that clairvoyant mediums can truly gain information. Okay, Nancy has visited here twice. I haven't seen her show up in white since then. She's been giving me information though. But what's great is if the spirit truly isn't available to come back to show themselves to you, the rest of the heavens knows the truth. So that is where people say, hey, my guides told me this information. So even if you're not pulling the exact deceased person in, the truth is still available on many layers of the heavens, okay? So that's why when I'm coming through my series and telling you how I'm getting all of this information, I'm being very straight up clear on where it's coming from. And my friend, Mr. Neely, helped me the other night see me, or help me see details that I hadn't even thought of. Okay, so I want to stick to the motive, not the family, but someone that is potentially around Michael, potentially in communications, potentially also in corporations that serve as communications at high level, okay, because the perp that I'm seeing is he services corporations or are involved in corporations. Now, I really do have to say, in the tea reading the other night, when I was again asking motive and clarify if it was family or not, never seen anything so incredible. I literally saw Michael Feldman's photo float through the air and sit in front of me. And right beside it, I saw a photo of Savannah float down and sit right beside there. And I could see them in photos. And I have to say, I believe that this Caucasian person who started to say, my finances are slipping, my status is slipping, I have to hold on, and I got to grip some money. Where do I get some money? And hey, look at this family, by the way. I believe that it was actually Savannah and Michael as a family. Okay, not as each single. It wasn't just Savannah and it wasn't just Michael. Whoever this perp is, I swear, the way I'm seeing it, is he's somehow been around the family. I don't think this person even met Nancy. This person somehow is in circles with Savannah and Michael. And again, unknowingly, so please do not quote me as saying I'm accusing either of those. I'm not. But there is someone around that circle, their circles, that have been able to see, privy to, oh, look at this family. Geez, look at this. Michael has his money. Oh, Savannah has her money. We don't even know what Mummy has for money. But the family does have money. So how do we get the family to give us that money? Oh, why don't we kidnap Mummy? This was not targeting Nancy. on any level for the following reasons. Because a lot of things were happening in this family and they were connected to a lot of things. This is not connected to politics. This is not connected to Clintons. This is not connected to Epstein or Savannah being a platform for surviving survivors. This is not related to the court cases that Nancy was going to give testimony in. She was not the target. The money that the family has access to is the target. They don't care how they get it. They just want the money. And Nancy became a very easy target. And when you really think about whether or not family really did this, you know, if, let's say Aunt Ann Tommaso wanted her dead for whatever reason, you think an early inheritance on just $1 million home? Do you think that really is desperate enough? When I look at Annie, I think she's about to lose her mind. They can't even fathom who did this. I think she's been, of course, bombarded by the fact that the whole world thinks, you know, they've done it. So that's pressure. Plus, I don't think she's in a great state of mind anyway. And I really hope people remove that energy from putting suspected guilt on her. I don't think she can take it. And okay, so I'm going to go into the mission, but I want to do it on a separate live. So I'm just going to read again parts of a reading from the other night that will just give you some wording. It's always important if you're truly channeling or receiving or accessing specific information from any of the spirits, the way that they phrase sentences is so poignant. And even if you don't know all of the pieces of the puzzle, what is intriguing is if you can just give it time, you might indeed see even how these phrases fit in. And I believe I'm doing all of these videos, number one, from the day that Nancy arrived, I truly feel that her body can be found. The way and how quickly we can find it, it's sometimes hard and confusing to think, do you just send out a search team? Or do you try to corner someone that you really think that could be a perp? Because finally maybe someone says, okay, I give up, she's over there, and they point you to her. So either way, I think it's very important, knowing motive, singling out a perp that may be, sorry to say that, I don't mean it in the way like, don't want anyone to be feeling bad about me, I'm not trying to accuse. Okay, so just taking it from the top, when we were doing the reading the other night, I was gonna, ended up being a 2-hour reading and my head was sore. And there was just so much information. So that's why I'm breaking it up into the motive, the mission, the driver, the woman. And as I've said this evening in my little rhyme introducing this, okay, even though I'm calling the perp number 3, the person who's invented this plan, he's perp number 3. In theory, maybe he's the first guy in, okay? So I'm still calling him perp number 3, but he is the first guy in to say, I'm making my plan, okay? I got to be really clear on that. That's the Caucasian man who made the plan. This is where I really have to say, this weekend was pretty wild because I had my twin sister also do a reading on the same cup. And we recorded that. And I held back some of my thoughts for a little while. That was really interesting because my sister came right out and we see the same person. Okay, and we are going on record to say that there is one female involved in this entire kidnapping caper, okay? When I say that it's the first man in, that's perp number 3 that comes up with the plan, I have to say the second person in is this woman, okay? And what we are wondering, we're not 100% firm on the next part. We're firm there's a woman, okay? Firm. Okay,
It might not be the person at the front door though, even though that looked like a woman. Anyway, there is definitely one woman, and she has volunteered to take care of the hostage location, the hostage holding location. I'm not going to talk about where that is right now, but I want to bring her into focus very importantly, because as you add people to the team and to the crew, I want you to know, first the Caucasian man, then somehow this Hispanic woman who is Mexican gets involved. And she does have dark Mexican hair. Her eyes are very trusting. And when she talks to people, she gives people this feeling of, hey, everything's fine and I'm in charge. Well, I'm not dominant though. I'm not dominant. But when I look at you and when I address you, I'm confident. I belong. And because of the way I speak and look at you, and even because of the things I say, you trust me. And it's wonderful, isn't it? Now, I'm going to say that whoever this Hispanic woman is, she is the person who brought the rest of the crew. Okay, so when we go down the line here, Caucasian man, number one coming in, Hispanic woman, and I'm going to put her at between 35 and 45 years old. And I believe her hair maybe only comes to here. You won't see it really long. I'm feeling it's kind of just maybe down to about here. Maybe even, well, maybe like something like that. Okay, up to there. Okay, and the reason I'm pointing her out, there's something called karma. All of these people are going to be responsible for Nancy's death because, as you know, you can't walk into a bank robbery even as the driver sitting in the car, and if your friends are going to go shoot someone, you're culpable and you're going to be held accountable as well, even if you weren't carrying guns, weapons, and even if you didn't enter that building. So I want to say, I'm pointing to this woman because I gotcha and I see you, and you've made yourself so familiar. But this woman is badass. She's got connections where she can hire the crew that will take care of infiltrating the home, securing Nancy. I believe she was sedated, and removing Nancy. And the reason I'm still wanting to talk about this woman is when those two people in the home actually remove her, and perp number 3 is communicating with them to have the car dispatched, I really kind of say that this woman kind of volunteered, you know, I want to be part of this, right? I can handle this. I can take care of this for you. And I'll be the one to take care of Nancy. So when we want to look at the fact that I believe, isn't the 31st the Sunday? Weren't the perpetrators coming to her home looking at the front door and getting caught on camera? It was noted that things were being done on a weekend, by the way, and it really does make me feel that this seriously was supposed to be only, seriously, I feel this was a 5 to 7 day operation where this Hispanic woman just thought she had it all under control because the two people in the house, they're the ones that need to go back to work. So when we're trying to place people's whereabouts, okay, once we get to the future and we can come back to this and kind of go, oh, where was that woman? If we finally get her name or a tip on her, the first question is, where was she on, especially February 1, February 2, February 3, February 4, February 5, February 6. And it went very wrong, okay, in her midst. She is the one that did not know how to care properly for Nancy. And this is why, again and again, I can't even believe that, okay, if Annie and Tommaso really were behind this, if it was just for like the money, the house, the early inheritance, whatever you think their motive is, cash out early, we're in trouble. Everybody's in trouble. I don't know, like, I don't know. I'm just not getting it anyway. I'm just not getting it. And what I keep saying from the beginning is, for the fact that the perpetrators did not take the medication, knowing that she needed to subsist her life on that, they can't be too close to the family to know she needed that. So whoever this Hispanic woman is that was, oh, I will take care of Nancy. Don't worry. You guys can go back to work. Don't worry. I'll take care of it. I'll take care of it. This is what they underestimated. And I picked up on this with one of the visits Nancy gave me on, I believe it was probably by March 27th, 28th. That was her second visit. Because she kept showing me the scene of the two people in her home, and she could see that they were going to take her with her, okay? And she kept thinking, oh my God, if I go with them and I die with them, that's not my plan. Like, I want to die in my own home. So this is what I'm going to really put myself on record as saying as well, because I wasn't clear on the information earlier. But I really, 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 truly believe and know that once Nancy discovered these two people were in her home, I truly, truly believe she was going to try to have her death happen there. So, as frail and pained as she might have been, incredible things can happen when you have adrenaline. Now, what I think has gone on is, because she shows me that she can tell that they are going to take her out of there. And she's like, no, if I'm going to die anywhere, I'm dying here. Okay, so they still got her out of there. Okay, I'm going to say that. They still got her out of there. But I am willing to bet, I am very willing to bet now that I've just let everything sink in for a little while and I'm seeing more and more and more. I believe the first time Nancy said, fuck you, was in her home, and she was going to do anything to stop it. So what we now believe is, also you have to think of something. They needed to get her out of that house, and I'm going to tell you more about the mission and the other thing, but what I know about things I got channeled the other day is the crew that is on this. I'm going to tell you one thing that was very smooth about this crew. And it's the reason I truly feel this was kidnapping and they were going to bring her back. These are not murderers, okay? They are fools. But they weren't intended murderers, okay? This really is not about murder. But they still killed her, okay? She still ended up dead in their care. So, for the love of Pete, it's like so much, but I truly feel that even though the police say that, oh, the home was immaculate, I'm telling you that was not immaculate, because I feel that she was like, screw you. If I'm going to die, I'm going to try to die here. So as petite and fragile, she made a muckus, okay? She made a ruckus in that home. And regardless, okay, that's where we kind of agree now that we think there is a head concern. And it might have occurred in the home with them trying to blindfold. Because you have to keep in mind, I keep getting clips that one of the people in the home, I almost want to say they're recognizable. Okay, so they're not taking off how they are covered. Okay, they're not taking off how they are covered. And what is very important to them is they do not want her hearing more of their voices than she needs to. I know she has, though, because she's told me that they are talking in the kitchen on comms, and that is communication network. That's what I believe. And what we got about that, by the way, that's been confirmed by other investigative reporters. What's interesting about Nancy telling me that they were speaking on comms with each other while they were in her home. It's been reported that the actual strength of cell phones are constantly hovering around 1 bar in the region close to Nancy's home, and that is quite common for that area. So for me to be told they were talking on comms, I already knew what that meant. They were not on cell phone. I already knew that. But it's more interesting to know, could they have known enough to know that cell phones wouldn't have been appropriate anyway? And they knew that. They weren't coming with cell phones. I'm telling you, these people, the guy that devised the plan is highly intelligent, okay? It went wrong with the crew. It went wrong with the woman, okay? This is why I wanted to keep putting my light on her. She's the one, they're all culpable, but she's the one who got in over her head and caused Nancy to end up dead. Okay, so I'm sorry. I know they're all culpable, but there's just something just not right about how this woman failed, was negligent in the caring for Nancy. Which one is this? Oh, hi, Miss Chica. This is one of my cats. Hi, Miss Chica. She's a helper. Okay. Hey, Missy Chicas. Okay, so now, one moment. I'm kind of losing. Do I want to keep going? Because I want to talk about the mission more fully in the next live. So, with respect to motive, though, you can go where you go. But again, I'm going to come back to motive now because I want to talk about the mission in another one. So when she was showing it to me, sorry, baby, don't focus. I have babies. Okay, so this is how it comes out in the reading. Someone wanted her money. She admits our family has money. We have money. The family does have money. The family does have money. So this is what she wanted me to clarify. She was killed by these people, and she was killed out of their own negligence of caring. Hiya, baby. Hiya. These are people who want the money. That's what this is focused on. And they want it from the family. Okay, you win. They want it from the family, okay? So, I want to repeat, this is not about Nancy. It's not specific to Nancy. The way it's going on in their heads is the family has money. How do we get it from them? How do we make them give it to us? This is about the family, okay? So, I'm going to leave it at that, and then I will continue on the mission. And I'm going to continue this evening on the mission. So if you guys want to come back or hang in, it's around 6:30 now. And I will be coming back momentarily, 10 minutes or so. And I'll talk to you more about the mission. But what I have to warn you about in part 2 of this, the mission, the spirits that were helping me, they were giving me a blow-by-blow with respect to what was happening at Annie and Tommaso's house, what was happening when he drove her home, did they really make it home? And then what she's showing me happens in the home. If you're going to follow that section, I'm going to warn you, it might be weird and unnerving because it really was like I was seeing how they methodically stopped the back door. And it was kind of creepy. So, all right. So, hang in. Thank you very much for joining. I'm very new on lives. So,
I just wanted this to be the stream. Anybody following this, see if these clues make sense. And I gotta give a shout out to a woman. There's a, I'll get her name for the next one. I discovered her yesterday. She is on YouTube. She's an Australian. She's an Australian psychic. And I watched one of her streams yesterday. And I almost